well, people can hear us. We're going to start our recording tracks. Okay, everybody ready?
Yeah.
Well, 1, 2, 3. Okay. All right, everybody good?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Are we ready? Are we ready to go live?
We're visible now.
Oh, hey! Hey, everybody. Look at this Brittany fun time where we talk to you in secret and then also smile at you awkwardly. Welcome, everyone! Hey! Episode 24, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Wow.
I wonder what people think of that name, Brittany Fun Time.
Oh,
Yes,
I promise you, I'm
hashtag
not,
Brittany
The
fun
new
time.
segment.
I'm not very fun.
Nassim, you look super hot with your glasses. Like,
I know,
Ooh.
what the hell? This, like,
Hey.
office,
Thanks, Boo.
like, business sexy casual.
Oh,
Bus-
yeah.
Oh.
Business,
All right.
business sexy casual.
Oh my.
Eating a Klondike bar? Is that what we got there?
This is a Oreos Pop-Tart.
Oh.
The best. The
Choice.
best.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, guys.
I'm partial to the cinnamon Pop-Tarts myself,
Mm.
but...
Strawberry.
Not
I'm all
for
about
me.
that classic strawberry.
Oh, no, the
Ooh.
blueberry, if you're gonna go
Can
that
you guys
way.
hear me okay?
Nope.
Okay,
Yeah.
You-
I dropped my mic because I have this stupid thing and it gets.
Okay.
Misstep. All right, well, yeah, welcome to the Venture Maidens, where we rate and review Pop-Tarts.
We
Great,
hit on
okay.
each other.
Yeah, well, whatever. D&D is just an excuse to flirt with all of your friends, in my
Yeah.
case.
Truly.
So.
That's why
Anyway,
you're the DM.
yay! Okay, we've got a lot of stuff to do, so let's go ahead. Let's jump in. We ready? I'm still chewing on a Pop-Tart. All right, I'm gonna wait for you. No,
No.
I'm still eating pizza.
All right. Well,
Well, now you're
welcome.
making us talk, and the people who hate that are going to kill us.
They're gonna find us and kill us. Damn it. Okay, are you ready now, Nassim?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm ready.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to episode 24 of the Venture Maidens podcast. I am your dungeon master, Celeste Konowich.
I am your elven warlock, Arna Delethil, played by Brittany Printero.
I'm your human monk, Cyanor, played by Nassim Metamod. Why are you laughing at me so hard?
Because you're always laughing when you say your name every podcast, and I don't know why.
I don't think so. Maybe that's true. I don't know.
I can send you the clips. I have the
Perhaps.
evidence.
I believe you.
We'll make a compilation disc. It'll be great.
Please do.
And on that note, I am Sage, and I play Kara.
All right. Well, we left you guys with a little bit of a cliffhanger last episode, but before we satisfy that, before we even do the recap, something really important happened to all of our PCs a couple games ago, but we're, going to inform you now because I
We're late
totally
in the
forgot
game.
to do this. Yeah, totally forgot last time. I was so
We were-
excited about a zombie beholder.
Oh yeah, we fucking leveled up.
So hype.
We had a whole battle with our new
Yeah.
level abilities.
Yeah.
Which
so,
was awesome.
Hell yeah. So if we want to go around round table and just talk a little bit about what you guys got, we can skip things like hit points, but any cool abilities you might have gotten level 7, right?
Ah. Do you want us to just go in our
See.
normal order?
Yeah, so Brittany, start us off.
I got this sweet eldritch ability called Entropic Ward, where basically I get to make, if a creature rolls an attack against me, I can use my reaction to impose disadvantage on that roll. And if the attack misses me, my next attack roll against the creature has advantage. So it's like real sweet. And then
Kind of doubling down on your gift from the future.
yeah,
Right?
god damn. I wish I had that as a bonus. Well, it's a reaction, so
Yeah, haven't you done that already, actually? It was pretty cool.
I think I did. I think I am yeah, I got to practice with that last time. And then the next
I think we all used them last fight,
I
right?
did not use
I didn't
Gift of
use
the
mine.
Future. I just used Entropic Ward. The next thing I got, which I was so excited to roleplay further with the whole reason that I chose Pact of the Chain is because I was really excited about getting this sweet little pseudo dragon. So focusing on my relationship with my sweet little baby, I chose Voice of the Chain Master as an Eldritch invocation, which allows me to communicate telepathically with my familiar and perceive through my familiar senses as long as I am on the same plane of existence, which that's crazy. Additionally, while perceiving...
That is crazy.
Yeah, it's like a super beefy familiar. It's like different... I can perceive through...
It's awesome.
I can perceive through its senses, and I can also speak through my familiar in my own voice, even if my familiar is normally incapable of speech.
Well, I also just have to throw in, I mean, Voice of the Chainmaster, Pack of the Chainmaster. This sounds like a really bad romance novel that I would totally pick up.
Oh.
It does.
No, don't taint
Some
it.
high fantasy. I won't.
Too
Well, I
late.
have to. It's my rules. It's who we are as Venture Maidens. Anything else?
I just got more HP. I also realized when I was filling out my new sheet that I forgot to add my proficiency bonus to my AC.
Oh dear.
Oh yeah. So now my AC is 18. Previously it was whatever that is minus 3.
What? Why
5.
would you add your proficiency
Wait.
bonus to your armor class?
If you're proficient in light armor, you get to add that, don't you?
No.
No. You just get to wear light armor.
Anyway.
It's your dex modifier, not your proficiency bonus.
Yeah.
Well,
Don't you add your proficiency bonus when you're wielding a weapon that you're proficient in? So then
Yeah, but
So then why would
yes,
you
But not with armor.
But then why would they
if you're
let you
proficient with armor, it means you're allowed to
I
wear
have
it.
no idea.
That does not make a single
That's a good
lick
question.
of sense.
That's a good question.
Anybody can put
It
armor
totally
in, but if
does.
you're proficient with like how to wear it, wouldn't you get that bonus? So what's the point of being proficient in armor?
Not
Are
every,
people-
not
are people
everyone, not
talking
everyone
about
knows
it in
how
the
to
chat?
put on armor.
ask the chat viewers, because
Does anyone know the answer?
Plus, just
Well, we
because you
know
know how
the-
to put on armor doesn't mean you know how to run around and
right, which means
be dexterous with
which
it.
means then you would get to add your bonus,
And-
right?
Anyway, we can talk about this offline. This is getting into a drudgy conversation. All right, Nassim, what did you get?
Oh, here we go. I got evasion, which I get to dodge area effects with my dex save. If it wants me to make a dex save and I succeed, then I don't take damage, and if I fail, I only take half damage. So that's nice. And then stillness of mind. I can use my action during combat to end an effect on me, like being charmed or frightened.
Neat. That would have really helped you out probably last time.
What?
Oh, never mind. I'm being facetious.
No, I think
else?
we tried
I
that.
know you guys went all staticky and frozen.
Oh,
Oh, you're kind of chopping up too.
good to go now?
Oh, now now you guys are all back to normal.
All right.
All right.
Any other
That was
cool
it.
elemental stuff?
Oh, was there? Oh, well, my key points increased, so that's nice.
Oh yeah.
More cool?
I don't think anything elemental, not for a little bit. No.
More cool break my game monk stuff. It'll just get worse from here. I'm really excited. Monks.
No,
All right,
I don't get
Sadie.
another one until 11th level. Another elemental thing. That's
All right.
okay.
Sage, what'd you get?
But you're like a water goddess now, so there's that.
Yeah, there is that.
what I
A
was
couple
gonna say.
elemental things. All right, Sage, what's up?
Alright, so the only thing that I got, which is the best, in my opinion, the best fighter feature ever, is excuse me. Oh, that's supposed to be my last one. Okay, anyway. Excuse me. Is the action surge, where once per short or long rest, I get to take an additional action and a bonus action on my turn. So just like Hulk out real fast.
It's gonna be attacks for days.
Oh, the attacks!
Sweet. Yeah, so that sweet level 7 life. And that still almost didn't help you last time. Let's jump into the recap. What did we do last time?
Oh my god. So, you guys started right behind the necromancer, and then Nassim shanked him. with her short sword. But then Kara
Mhm.
decided to just plunge down because that's gone well for her.
You just bounced off. Like, I can't even hurt you with gravity anymore.
No, it's just, you know.
Uh-huh.
Right.
And then what?
Oh man, so many things.
So many zombies just swarming on all sides.
Attacking all the zombies, and then wasn't the next cool thing something Britt did?
Oh,
Polymorphing
yeah.
that son of a
yeah, I
bitch.
used my wand of polymorph.
Finally used your... Yes.
I remembered that I had it, and
You used it real quick too,
Yeah.
so it was pretty much immediately in the battle.
it was really
It was clutch.
It was really good to redo my entire character sheet, which, by the way, I stand corrected. Proficiency bonus is not added. I looked it up. I looked up a subreddit, so thank you guys for letting me figure that out for myself. But so my HC is 15. Anyway, so thank goodness for rewriting character sheets. Yeah, polymorph.
Yay, pencils.
Wand of polymorph, and I realized it's just like when you play like Skyrim or Oblivion, the whatever like summoner, you take that out and you don't have to worry about the Dremora or the imp that they summon. So kill the fucking necromancer. Or turn him into a...
But you didn't kill
turn
him.
it into a jellyfish.
What was the logic behind jellyfish? Fans are clamoring to know.
Seriously,
Flush your
everyone
DM.
was hoping for rabbit-sized bear.
We had so many suggestions, and then jellyfish.
I mean,
where did that come from,
It
Brittany?
can't move.
Yeah,
I think it's
like
pretty
the most
obvious it can't fucking
useless.
move. And like
Yeah.
if it died, I don't know, and it was entirely possible for it to die from not being able to, asphyxiation or whatever. And also, if somebody tries to pick it up, it's gonna get stung. Like, I think that's pretty sound logic.
All right. I'm into it. It was great. So you took my necromancer out. You turned down my challenge rating of my fight a lot,
Sorry.
and I was very sad.
Sorry, not sorry. Don't give me
Sorry,
polymorph
not sorry.
abilities. That's what happened.
Yeah.
Moral of the story.
Yeah. Sage, don't. You owe me a Coke. Anyway, but that turned out being a good thing because what happened over the course of the fight?
Somebody got knocked unconscious. Saw ya. You got fucking... Or was it... No, Kara. Kara did.
Nope.
Wow.
Saye
We're really
got-
bad at it when we don't have our
I
episodes
know.
to help us
Kara
out.
did get knocked unconscious. I had to help Kara with a saving.
Uh-oh.
Was it Saya?
Nope. Saye got swarmed by zombies at one point.
I
Was
don't know.
was down on the ground, being
I'm
eaten
now down
alive
to-
by like 10 zombies.
I mean, I got
I have 10
swarmed
hit points
too.
left.
Mm-hmm.
Why am I having a hard time with this?
I don't
So,
know.
folks, if you didn't tune in or realize, we are actually one episode ahead in this. So our last live stream isn't out in podcast form. So we're all a little bit sticky because we don't have the actual podcast edited down to listen to.
Yeah. That's I need that so I can. That's my
Yeah,
recap.
we're spoiled
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, I don't remember.
We're so
I could have
spoiled
swore
now.
somebody.
We used to do this fine in the
I
beginning.
could have swore somebody dropped to 0 HP, and I moved to try to help them, but
Don't remember
I
that.
could be
I don't
remembering
know.
one of
Not important.
Yeah,
Anyway, yeah. True story. I had to listen to the rough audio of the last 2 minutes of our last recording just to make sure I got all my details right.
Yeah.
But anyway,
And we've been playing a lot of D&D.
we have on
Indeed.
off weeks with other people, Podcast of Annihilation. It's great. I love it. All
Yeah,
my nerd
well-
dreams are coming true.
Go
Seriously.
listen to the episodes we all were on. Self-plug.
And yeah, dude, and we have a bunch of bonus content about to come out on our Patreon too, if we haven't hyped that enough. All these episodes you've been watching, all
Okay.
you lovely folks who come in. Yeah, okay, we gotta all right, move along. Okay, so Saye ran into a lot of trouble, swarmed by zombies. The zombie beholder in the center of the room was blasting just havoc. Kara actually made a bunch of amazing saving rolls, no surprise.
Oh,
Kara-
yeah, because of it's trying to, paralyze me or something. just
Yeah,
like,
Sage's dice are touched by magic, and
It's true.
makes me sad. Anyway, and then what had happened at the end of the fight when almost all seemed lost, and the necromancer, if you remember, had popped
Wasn't
back
all lost.
into... The necromancer had popped back into existence
No,
again.
it didn't.
Did he?
No.
Yeah,
no.
he
Alistar
came.
Fitzpatrick swooped that out of the zombie's hand that went to grab it.
And then
Yes.
and then he turned back into a people.
No, it didn't.
Fuck, we're... Guys, oh, this is such a mess.
It did not. I do not remember
Are we just
that.
completely remembering different things? How is this?
I do remember.
We all fought a different fight.
I do remember I took control of Alistar Fitzpatrick because I saw the zombie pick the damn thing up and start running. And I was like, Alistar, I forfeit my turn so that he could go and grab the fucking jellyfish. And it won its grapple. It did.
Yes, I do remember that happening. So, Alistar, I think, has the jellyfish?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So, alright,
And
so
I
let's
felt
just...
that it's also succeeded on not getting stung by the jellyfish. I was like, not today!
Yes, he made his constitution. Yes, I do remember. Alright, so... Alright, let's end this painful recap situation. You're all down in the cave. Yeah, you're all down in the cave. You've been fighting this beholder, which has been pulverizing Saye this whole time, so much to the point that she was down on the ground, grappled by a bunch of zombies, and the other half had swarmed up to Arnadel and were swarming around you, and you were holding them off. You cast tentacles and made rough terrain. Yeah, you did a whole bunch of stuff. And so the zombies were driven back, and you had seen one of the zombies pick up the jellyfish and go to try and squish it, basically, so the necromancer would live again. And then you had sent Alistar in, swooped down, scooped the jellyfish. So you're in this big cavern now. Alistar is flying around the top of it with this jellyfish wriggling in its hand, who got a bunch of natural 20s, by the way, last game, which was ridiculous. And then when all hope had, and you were really settling in for the fight, something had happened. You had begun to hear cries coming from the pool of water in the room.
Dolphins.
Do you remember? Yes.
Oh god, what is it called? The crab
The
thing.
So, yeah, to the herald of dolphin cries, all of a sudden, which had happened intermittently throughout the fight. And then you had heard this big roaring sound and a splash coming from this underwater cavern underneath you. And you had seen this huge mechanical thing just emerge from the water. Do we have the image up, Britt?
Yeah, I'm on it.
Yeah.
All right. So you hadn't made checks yet about it, but it looked like this big keg almost in the center, and it had these mechanical arms coming off of it, two forming pincers in the front like a crab. Just this very strange, very steampunk-looking apparatus had emerged, and you had heard a popping sound, and then you had seen a familiar face emerge from the top of it. A gnomish face that you had all recognized as someone who had been at the Elysium Keep. Mm-hmm. Bonus points for anyone who can remember his name.
I wrote it down, and I don't have my notes on me. I'm sorry. It was starts with a G.
Shit, I don't...
Does it start with a G?
There is a G in it.
I know that.
His last name starts with a G.
Yeah.
Oh.
I can't remember.
I don't remember his name. I just remember he was like the artificer.
Yeah.
He was.
Artificer.
I don't have my notes.
The master artificer of the Elysium Keep. Mm-hmm. His name is Whizban Glitch.
That's right.
That's right. God damn it.
The gnomish artificer. So he had emerged and popped off the lid of this thing, and he had called out to you all, Oh, maidens! Oh, I'm so glad you're here. You're really needed back at the keep. Oh dear. And he had kind of surveyed the situation, seeing it for the first time, and you had seen the two almost headlights of this thing pop off the edge of the barrel and move to swivel to focus in on the beholder, and these bright glowing beams had emerged, seeming to form this light heading towards it. So...
Guys,
yes.
I'm not gonna lie. I think the reason why I don't remember any of this is because I got really drunk last time we played.
Oh dear.
That is.
I didn't
Yeah.
realize it
D&D
at the time.
confessions.
Obviously, I did not realize it at the time, but none of what you're saying is ringing a bell. So
I
the
remember.
only reason I can
I
think.
remember.
I drank more than a bottle of wine to myself. More than that.
Dear.
Um,
What are we drinking tonight?
I've got booze coming on the way, but I just sipped 1 glass of white wine.
White
The same thing we drink every night, Pinky. An angry orchard.
I have all these little somethings left over from when I ran Curse of Strahd with Sage and friends last weekend. I'm trying to find our initiative order. Okay, sweet. All right. So we are still in initiative order. The
Cool.
cavern now at this point is just echoing with the sounds of not only splashing as this barrel is sort of floated up towards the surface and making these bobbing, splashing sounds, and then also ringed around it, you see a bunch of these gray-headed fish creatures. I don't think any of you have identified them yet, going like all
No, we
around,
haven't.
and just causing this ruckus that's just echoing around this cavern. And the zombies that are piled around you, Saye, sort of pause for a moment and turn around, and then you hear coming from up above as Fitzpatrick is just like struggling with this jellyfish that it's holding in its claws. And this is the situation. It is just pure chaos right now. So
I want to yell at Glitch, Mr. Glitch,
Whiz-Ban Glitch.
Van Glitch, that I'm like, we need to take that out. We can't leave this Furbolg society with this fucking awful creature to continue controlling its inhabitants.
Go ahead and roll a persuasion check for me.
I'm pulling out my.
I'm imagining a little Alistar with this like goopy pile in his little tiny dragon claws. It's just looking kind of confused.
Yeah, I didn't realize pseudo-dragons are tiny creatures. So he's like the jellyfish is his size, and they're just wrestling in the air. Jellyfish v. fairy dragon.
I rolled.
In a struggle to the
I rolled
death.
an 18 on my persuasion.
Okay. So the gnome seems to perk his head up, and you actually see his 2 eyebrows sort of like as they jump off. They're these long kind of flowing things, so they ruffle as his head spins towards you. As if
God.
he wasn't going to notice you before, but as you start screaming, he straps on one of his leather gloves that he has and makes this sort of motion and goes, okay, and just gives you a thumbs up. The machine's just gotta power up. Just give me one moment. Distract it if you can.
Sure, no problem, buddy. I don't have any more spell slots, but I've got Agonizing Blast for days.
Yeah, and as you're doing this, the machine itself is making this like woo sound, almost like a energy generator powering up as it's going. And the lights coming from the head beam things are becoming brighter and brighter and starting to pulsate. All right. So Kara, we're starting with you.
Oh boy. I believe I was right next to the beholder.
Yep. And on the other side, Saye had just gotten out of her grapple situation, I believe. So Saye
Right.
is on her feet, but there are still a multitude of zombies surrounding her.
Alright, well, I think my first move is gonna try and finish taking out. Hopefully, take out this fucking beholder, because fuck him.
This thing is bleeding, but it's not blood so much as it is just black sludge that's kind of pouring out of this thing, and chunks of its
Gross.
skin are peeling away like a rotten orange as you've been hitting it.
Nasty. It's nasty. Alright. Gonna make my attack roll, and that's
so
good.
much of a smell reaction. I'm like,
Yeah.
God.
Rotting citrus. Yay.
It,
Mm.
like, kind of.
Mm.
Alright, that is oh, sorry. What were you gonna say?
Don't listen to me.
That's a 16.
All right.
To
Yep.
hit
You chunk into this thing.
for 8 damage.
Okay. So as you sink your chunky axe into this thing, another piece of skin falls off, and you see now the eye in the center of it was going cloudy before, but you actually rupture a piece of it, and this pale milky fluid starts to shoot out and drain, and you actually are splashed in a wave of it as this thing starts like shaking in midair because it's been hovering this whole time. I need you to make a Constitution check for me, save for me.
Fabulous. She's like, oh god.
Oh god.
Fuck yeah. 23.
Yeah, okay. So you brush it off, but you see where it has landed on your armor. It turns like sort of has this black, crusty quality to it, as if like minor acid has hit your armor. And the thing lets out this sort of roar as its tongue isn't quite there and it can't make the real sound of terror. And the eye stalks are quivering back and forth, and this thing is definitely heading downward spiral. But not quite done yet.
She's gonna hit it again.
That was one of the most graphic descriptions I think you've ever given.
I aim to please.
21.
Yep, gonna do it.
For an additional 10 damage.
All right. Again and again, you are hitting this thing, just goo and rupturing and screaming as it's going on, but it's still not quite there.
Fabulous. I have a bonus action, which I'll use to hit it.
Good.
25.
Holy shit, dude! Yeah!
4, 9, 11 damage. Is it dead yet?
Describe how you would like to kill this thing.
Oh, shit. Right on. Yes. Fuck.
Well done.
I think Kara in total has done over 200 damage this fight. I would just like to point out to the kids at home, looking at my notes last time. This is ridiculous.
So yeah, so she hacks into it, the eye goop squirts out, and it's starting to like let out this horrible, horrible sound, and then she like gets right up in its fat, hideous, gushing eyeball, and just like not even blinking, just keeps whacking her axe into it again until it like finally just plops onto the floor.
That's so weird.
So disturbed by all of this eyeball shit that's happening.
Yeah, as you're doing this, I just imagine like it's sort of like a balloon deflating, but if a balloon was full of like liquid.
Have you guys ever held an eyeball? I have.
No.
I've touched eyeballs.
They're very
actual
goopy.
Eyeballs.
Oh, actually,
you
know what?
solid.
I've dissected an eyeball.
Yeah, they're actually pretty.
Oh, I guess I did that too.
Pretty solid.
Yeah.
Yeah, you hit that stone in the center of it as your axe is thunking, and you realize, in your rage, you keep hitting it and hitting it and hitting it. It takes you a minute to realize it's down on the ground as you're just doing that for the rest of your turn.
Yep.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Okay, Arnadel. So, your situation, you had a bunch of zombies coming in from the west side and the east side. The east side, you had set up tentacles, so the zombies there are totally contained. But a couple on the west side have managed to get through your traps at this point, so you have 2 sitting on you that are squaring off with you.
I'm going to... I don't have any more spell slots. So I'm going to, oh my god, I feel so brave. Agonizing Blast, one of them.
Slap the shit out of someone.
Zombies.
So yeah.
I hate you.
Agonizing fucking Blast. Something you rolled a hit.
Alright.
Ooh, natural 20.
Oh, yeah, okay. Roll your damage.
How many raids do you get at 7th? Is it 2 or 3?
Sorry?
I think it might be 2. For your Eldritch Blast, I think you get 2 raids.
3 beams.
Oh, 3 at 7th? Yeah. Nice.
Whoa. Are you sending them all at one guy, or?
You have to roll attack rolls for each of them.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's resolve number 1.
I'm gonna send 2 at him and 1 at what's-his-ass. But I have to... Oh, I'm sorry. I get 2. I get 2 beams. I didn't read that fully. 3 is at 11th. I'm just looking for the damage. Okay, so 2 beams. I'm gonna roll 2 beams. And try to hit each zombie.
Okay.
If I'm at D10. D10. And I get to add my charisma modifier for agonizing blast. So 14 damage for one zombie.
Ooh.
Nice.
And 9 damage for the other dude.
Okay. Describe how you killed these zombies.
Oh shit. So as I am able, the other ones that I'm like casting spells left and right, and it's looking sick as shit.
Mm-hmm.
I cast Hunger of Hadar, and again, remember, my eyes like white out whenever I cast these spells.
Yeah.
So Hunger of Hadar, and I have this like crazed like look of like utter satisfaction, almost like delight in it. And then the other two, they're like coming at me this way, and I extend both of my hands and light the fuck up. You know, like laughing kind of maniacally as I like just pure energy, just like boop 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 boop, like shoots out of each of my fucking hands.
Does it make that sound? Does it make the power up sound?
It doesn't. It doesn't.
That would be cute as hell.
It definitely. It's like I really want to impress the concept of it. I'm like mildly scary. Like you guys are like something's happening to Arnett.
I think we got
Yeah,
that
she's
from
got-
your
she's got
description,
a little-
Brittany.
Saya
Got
is
a little
freaked
more
the fuck
intense.
out.
Yeah, I mean you're like you're happy I'm on your team type shit. So yeah, I like singe these bitches, and I'm just like almost like smoke coming out of my teeth and shit, like like into it, and then I compose myself and like run over to help whoever I need to.
Okay. So on both sides of you, as you remember, you had your Hunger of Hadar up on one side, and you had another tentacle restrain spell, I believe, on the other side. You cast something that made it rough terrain.
Somebody else cast Entangle or Spikes or something.
Oh, that was
Saya
Cyan.
cast that.
I
Oh,
did
yeah,
Shatter.
that's right.
Great.
What?
Yeah. Totally. Sorry. Nassim is texting me. I'm distracted. Okay, so for that, I'm going to say Saye's spell is down. Her concentration was waning as she was being bitten by zombies. So if you do want to run around, so to the east side, which is closer towards the pool of water, if you remember from the map before. So you want to use your 30 feet to move?
Yeah.
Okay.
And
so you can...
I want to just point out, Alistair Fitzpatrick he's still holding the jellyfish, and he carefully and has landed on my shoulder.
Okay. Before that happens, I'm going to need Alistair to make a couple rolls for me. First of all, we're going to do a strength check. I'm getting disadvantage because I'm a jellyfish, but just in case.
Okay. Does that mean I roll with advantage or just roll?
No, just roll normal.
I don't have my monster manual. I don't know what his strength, if he has a strength modifier.
I think it's like +1 or 0, so just give him a +1.
Okay, so he rolls a 6.
Woo! Oh my god. So my jellyfish rolled a 14 and a 16.
Oh.
So, the jellyfish... I don't know if any of you can see this, but I'm going to describe for our audience. The jellyfish reaches up its tentacles, so it has these two little claws holding into it. So it's kind of dancing back and forth like a puppet, its little legs flailing around. And it somehow manages to use the momentum of a swing to wrap its tentacles up and slap Fitzpatrick in the face, which sends him sort of careening around as he can't see, and these tentacles are wrapped around his head. So I'm going to need... I'm going to need him to make a Constitution save for me.
Okay. That's going to be a... What's the ability modifier for 13?
1.
So he got a 15.
Okay. All right. So he's only going to take half damage. You see this jellyfish begin to pulse with this weird black sort of light. And it's like all of a sudden these sparkles have started within it. There's like a shadow inside of the jellyfish that's beginning to move and morph. And so he is going to take 4 hit points of damage, which reduces his hit point total as he takes necrotic damage. So
does he
it's
get an
not going to be
AC?
pure damage.
He doesn't have it doesn't worry about AC or anything like that?
No. This is an aura effect.
Okay, so he takes 4 hit points. Or he
So
takes,
it's like subtract. Yeah.
So
So it's like subtract from his hit point total, so he doesn't take damage.
Okay. So
You see what I mean?
He's got 3 hit points left.
Mm.
And then necrotic damage does what?
No, so after that was part of the damage, the necrotic effect.
Oh, so his actual base HP gets lessened by how much?
4.
Oh shit, okay. So I am livid and hurt, and it makes me cry in pain.
You feel it too. You feel your little creature above you as it's like strength and life is just sapped away from him, and you all actually see him begin to careen, and he takes like a sharp right dive down before he's able to steady himself and resume his flight. As this jellyfish, still the tentacles are just wrapped around his eyes right now, so he's just sort of guessing.
You guys
as
hear
he's
me
going.
scream like you've never heard me screamed before.
All right, and then Saye.
Patty, I'm coming for you.
Oh man,
So you have a group of zombies around you right now.
Completely around me.
Yes, because they were basically on the ground, and then you did some cool monk shit and managed to stand up. So you're not prone, but you're definitely surrounded. If you try to move, you will incur a bunch of attacks of opportunity.
All right, then I'll try and flurry of blows.
Yay!
Their asses. Their zombie asses. Let's do it.
And they're all standing above you, because remember the furbolgs were 7.5 to 8.5 feet.
But I can attack first,
right.
and then I use it, right?
Yes, correct.
Sure, I'm gonna attack ones that are right in... Wait, where's Patrick from where I am?
So he's up in the air, probably about 40 feet away from you.
Whoever is blocking me from getting towards him, that's who I'm attacking.
So it'd be like the southwest zombie in his rotation right now.
Alrighty then.
Dude, use your special gift to get an extra 6-second turn, so you can like disengage and then like run over there and super help out.
Oh, well, I don't... You mean after I killed the zombies?
That's true. Or you can do it and kill all the more zombies.
You do you.
I think I might as well kill some zombies while I'm at it.
Fair enough.
Yeah, well, that was 17 to hit. Is that
Definitely
ambo?
gonna hit. Yeah.
And what am I hitting them with? My short sword, I guess. Where is it?
1d6.
8 damage.
Yeah.
And now
so
2 more.
Yeah, you sliced through the zombie. It had taken a bunch of damage from, remember when the beholder had disintegrated and shot through his own people. So this zombie was already punched through, full of holes. So you take this guy down.
Oh, okay, here we go. Then if is anyone gonna hurt me? I'll disengage now, and then I'll go after Patty.
Okay. So disengage. Are you using your gift of the present to buy another 6-second round?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So you.
Oh no! I'm gonna spend a key point because I can do that anyway.
Sweet.
Yeah.
So spend a key point. You're gonna disengage, and you're gonna run towards the southwest.
Yeah.
Okay. So Fitzpatrick is like 10 feet in the air right now, kind of wavering above that spot. So you can easily run to stand right underneath him.
Can I jump 10 feet high?
Monks.
Hey, I'm a monk.
Hey, I'm a monk. I can jump. Go ahead, make an athletics, and we'll see what happens.
Athletics, okay. That's gonna be a 10.
No. So you're running, and you don't use your momentum at all. You just like get there, and you're just so excited, and you're like a kid just trying to like jump high enough to like make a basketball hoop or something. You just like and as you do, Fitzpatrick's little feet are like kicking in the air, and you're just like no, and you just miss him.
It would basically look like how I would look trying to jump 10 feet high.
Yeah. Nassim just bled through the character here, everybody. All right, so you are now underneath Fitzpatrick, the 3 zombies super confused as to why you're not there anymore. All right, and then I get my turn. Okay. I need Fitzpatrick to make a Constitution saving throw for me, please.
15.
Okay. So you see that dark pulse again around Fitzpatrick as the jellyfish is just wrangling with
I
him.
want him to throw
So he's-
it down.
Okay. It's not his turn. He lost his grapple. So 1 more of that necrotic damage, that's going to reduce his HP level.
So how does that work if it...
Does it take him to 0?
He only has 7 HP.
Okay. You feel this incredible... You feel this incredible sensation of loss all of a sudden. As like this consciousness, this piece of you that was tied to you just sort of winks out. It's like if somebody cut off your arm and then you just feel this ghost sense, like nothing is there anymore. And you see Fitzpatrick waver and then begin to careen, just spiraling downwards towards the ground. And you hear the thud of his little body as it hits the ground, knowing for sure that he is
You better give
totally
me a reaction.
unconscious.
Can I catch him? Can I use my
Better
reaction to
give
catch
me
him?
a motherfucking
Okay.
reaction.
All right.
I was below him.
We're still in turn order. So, I mean, if you have a bonus action you can use, Brittany.
All I have is Entropic Ward against that jellyfish. Because we're connected. I feel what he feels. I'm going to argue that tooth and nail. I have Entropic
What
Ward.
does Entropic Ward do again?
It just... So this creature's making an attack roll. I can use my reaction to impose disadvantage on that roll. And if the attack misses, my next attack roll can put myself at advantage.
He's not making an attack roll, though.
He's not making an attack roll.
You're making saves.
Yeah.
That's all I
Not
have.
gonna... Yeah. Not quite gonna do it. So Fitzpatrick begins to fall. And you hear this squelching sound as the jellyfish itself releases from Fitzpatrick and goes careening down towards the ground. So it's falling at 1 rate, and then Fitzpatrick is falling at 1 rate towards the ground. So, Saye, I am going to give you a choice here. Who are you going to catch?
How far apart are they from the air?
So they're like, I don't know, a solid like 6 feet apart. So they like launched, split away from each other.
Can I try to make a roll to like do the Egyptian and extend my left foot backwards?
Okay.
Like a
This is
ballerina.
gonna be a very hard roll. But go ahead. Try it.
I believe in you.
I mean, should I just go for Fitzpatrick? Is the jellyfish gonna just splat apart?
I don't.
Do I add anything
you
to
get-
it?
You get the direct sensation.
Acrobatics?
that I do not give a fuck if that jellyfish splatters.
Well,
You know if the jellyfish splatters, the necromancer comes
At
back.
0 HP.
No, he's
And not
technical.
to be all meta, but you can just summon Fitzpatrick again. He just goes back into the ethereal dimension.
Pizza
Got-
medicine.
Super not being met. Arnadale does not give a fuck. She is so distraught right now.
I got a 21.
You know what? Sure, that's awesome. So you go ahead and you do like a full-on ballet move as you stand on 1 foot and pirouette to both sides. So your hand is outstretched, and then your right foot is outstretched, and the jellyfish catches on your right boot as you go, and it's just perfectly balanced there, and Fitzpatrick lands in your other hand, and he makes this little kind of sound, and the jellyfish, you're not sure how you can tell, but the jellyfish seems pissed. And
that jellyfish is pissed off.
Wow, I can tell. Girl,
It
you
just
need to calm
shakes.
down. Yeah,
That's how you do.
like Jello. It's so
Yeah.
angry. So as this happens, you've made it through one successful round, and you hear that sound of the generator again, and now you can all tell from the far side of this cavern, the light has grown so bright at this point, and you hear this voice, "Oh, all right, it would be best if you all closed your eyes for one moment." Do you do it?
Okay.
You all have enough time to do that if you wish. And then even from behind your eyelids, the orange and yellow light that begins to fill the cavern, it's like looking at the sun and then immediately closing your eyes. It just moves through the place, and you begin to hear these splattering sounds coming from all around the room. And then you hear a like stone breaking apart. And as you kind of regain your eyesight, you see that in the cavern, the stone altar that was there before has completely been split in half, like centered down the middle as if like a thunder crack hit it.
Nice.
And all the remaining zombies in the room have just splattered apart. You can see the remains on the walls, on the floors. And there's still this sort of glow echoing around the cavern. And you actually all noticed for the first time towards the initial tunnel in the front, there had been more zombies moving in. And
man.
had been destroyed. And the jellyfish, balanced on your foot, Nassim, is now gone.
Oh no.
God.
Just gone.
Wasted effort.
Hey, man. No, it would have gotten another turn if you hadn't got it as the necromancer. It would have been Riff. Anyway, and you hear that voice again. All right. I think I got most of them, but you should definitely come back to the submarine as soon as possible. And then a bunch of these dolphins that are flanking it. Fly, my friends! And they dive back into the water and descend, going off somewhere. Quickly! The gnome is waving at you all.
Car rushes over.
All right. So this thing is... I don't know. You can all see the picture. Didn't anybody want to make checks on maybe what this might be?
Arnadel's
Sure.
way too
Totally.
distraught about
Mm-hmm.
Alistar Fitzpatrick.
Well, I got 2, so that's nothing.
It's crazy.
Whoa.
It looks like a machine, except those don't exist in medieval world.
What is this dark magic?
Piece of chicanery.
Let's see. I'll make a history check. I got a 13.
I'm gonna give Kara advantage on this.
Because of my dwarven stone cunning.
Well,
Okay,
dwarves
still
and
13.
gnomes do fair trade of information.
Indeed.
Building over
Much
time.
tinkering. Alright, 13 on my history.
Okay. You don't recognize this device in particular, but you can tell it is of gnomish make. I mean, on top of the gnome there, it's got these very distinct sort of circular cylindrical things. It's like, you know, when you're looking into art history, you're like, oh, that's a Rococo painting. You're like, oh, yeah, that's totally a gnomish artifact. Your cat is not having any of this podcast right now.
She has to pass by the iPad to get to her cat
That was
tree. So
such
she's
an
like,
epic close-up, though.
All right. So, Nassim, you are running towards the thing, or what's everybody doing? Kara's running towards the thing.
I'm walking towards Arnadel. I want to hand her Fitzy. He has all too many nicknames now.
See, that's cute as shit, though.
It's the pet.
I'm crying.
Star.
I'm legit. I'm just gonna let you guys know. You've never seen Arnadel this upset ever. Like, she's sobbing and like can't breathe and is running over to you to like she like looks at you briefly to say, like you get a look of gratitude that you know, she's like, thank you so much for catching him, but she can't speak, and like grabs his little body and cradles him close to her chest.
Oh.
As she's as she's running to the thing as well.
Yeah, now that he's close to you, you feel psychically he's not quite gone, but there's something wrong. Like if he doesn't get some help soon.
We're getting to the chopper like now.
Yeah, into the chopper. So
What was that?
like, you know, like the slow motion
I don't know why.
song of like the like Vietnam, like I don't know the name of that song. I think it's in Platoon or fucking Apocalypse Now. I don't even know. But everybody's like, shit's exploding and people are like running and in shell shock and shit. Like that's what's happening.
Yeah.
okay,
Totally.
I get you. Great. So you were carrying him now, and so the apparatus itself is sort of difficult to get a land on how to even get inside this thing. At the top, there is this top hedge, but like I said, it really is a glorified keg barrel. So it seems to spin as the water moves in and out, and the gnome himself gets thrown like back and forth as he's going, and quickly! And he just descends down into it, leaving a hand for you to follow. So I'm going to need you all to make athletics checks to even get inside this thing. As it's spinning and toppling.
All right.
Ooh, that's a 17.
Okay.
I rolled a 19.
Ooh, no, come back, character sheet. 13.
All right. So you
I'm
all
so full
hop
of
up
adrenaline right
deftly.
Yeah.
And
Seriously.
then, and then Kara is the last one coming along because you're still like kind of fading out of your rage, still in the moment. You're trying to jump on this thing and it's slippery and you're rolling down and you feel this little like poke like on your butt and you see like this little gray face like, and it sort of like helps you up and lifts you into this thing. And then another one appears right behind it.
She
And it's
feels
just
weird
lifting
about this.
you
Oh my God.
upwards into this thing.
The dolphin.
She's like,
What?
thanks.
You see this little like hole in the
Mr.
back.
Bottlenose.
They blow out some water and just keep helping you out into
Oh
this
my
thing.
god, dolphins are my favorite.
Oh,
Definitely
One-
for Kara, some of the weirdest things you've ever seen. Not being around an ocean.
yeah. I'm like, it's like, what fresh hell is this?
Oh my god, it's a demon.
See,
Um,
would you
exactly,
have,
it's
like,
the
an
demon of the
innate
water.
sense of what these would be? Like, since your fucking deity embodies the ocean, like, would you just like know? Is that one of your new abilities to just know like aquatic creatures?
That would be amazing. If I was like Aquaman, basically.
Yeah.
Yep.
Perhaps, but these things feel totally foreign to you. You don't even get the sense of like that water affinity you've had with other. They seem strange. They read like a weird blip on your radar. Arnadel, I guess if you want to.
I get it. I think I get it. We'll see if Arnadel gets it. I doubt it because that's a motherfucking.
I'm gonna make one.
Like,
Yeah.
investigation.
Yeah, a nature check.
Well, Arnadel, do you want to turn on your detect magic? I
Yeah.
think would be the first
Ooh,
question.
I got an unnatural 20 on my nature check.
I detect magic.
These dolphins glow with an insane, or not dolphins. These creatures glow with an insane golden light. These things are made of magic.
Cool.
But not in the same way illusions are. It's this incredibly complicated, intricate.
Did it give the same register that the griffins that guarded the Elysium Fortress?
Absolutely.
Okay, that's how I'd recognize
And-
it. Like, oh, I've seen this before.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you can tell it was probably the same caster who made them.
Cool.
The signature of the patterns and the webs is so particular.
Cool. I'm like, oh, hey. Can't wait to see the hand of the creator.
Yeah, and then of course,
Baby.
this ship is also just super crazy magical.
Cool.
It's blue and gold and green and just a ton of stuff woven together.
I just
All right,
noticed it. I can't even be bothered to tell you guys because I'm so distraught about Alistar. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Kara, with your check,
Okay.
you notice as you get close to these things, the skin doesn't look quite right. It's not quite organic, as you're looking at them, and things just seem a little bit too mechanical. It's
Your
just
cat.
strange. Yeah, your cat is just in
Killing
it.
me. I keep moving her tail and she keeps swishing it back and she looks over her shoulder at me like, what,
I dare
bitch?
you. All right. So
Oh.
you all manage to pile into this contraption. And as you look inside, it's dark except for the glow of all of these arcane symbols that register like on a dashboard, except, we don't have lights and buttons. They're all like arcane symbols on different panels, and you see the gnome stooping over it, running his hands along things and whispering arcane words. So all four of you inside this thing, it is super cramped. You barely have enough room to stand at full height. You're all just sort of locked in there. And as you all get in, he reaches up and pulls down the hatch of this thing, and you hear this sealing sound.
Ooh.
Yeah, and then you feel the whole thing begin to shift back and forth, and your ears begin to pop as you can tell you're going
I hate it.
down in pressure.
My
All right,
butthole is clenched.
Good.
Saya is uncomfortable.
You're ready? All right, I'm going to take a little break.
Same, I gotta pee.
Bio break?
I gotta pee.
Okay.
I've been holding it. I didn't want to miss anything.
Sweet.
Okay, one sec.
Muy excelente.
I need to find me some gum. I still have munchies really bad.
Oh, man. Oh, is my pipe in the room? I don't think it is. I think Paul took it. Damn it.
I was trying so hard not to eat the Pop-Tart in the beginning, and I failed completely. I just kept staring.
I know, I had chowed down my dinner very, very quickly as soon as I got home.
Mm-hmm. So we're always around dinner time.
Yeah, seriously.
I'm never prepared for it, yeah.
Thankfully, Paul got home a little bit earlier, and he got started on making dinner, which I was like, I love you, thank you.
Oh, nice. I have chicken that's cooked. I don't want to be real lazy. It's the way to go. That's why it's there.
Oh my god! So I just got my textbook, right? Got in the mail. Check out what the fuck's in the back. A motherfucking floppy disk.
What?
I wish I had a floppy drive.
I wonder when the last time that was used was. I mean,
Oh my god.
it's a big one too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, that cracks me up.
I'm surprised that it's not a newer edition.
What?
I think this is the last one that they made. So I opened
That's
up
what
my
they
textbook,
do.
and there was a floppy disk in the back of my textbook for
That's
it.
pretty tight. I remember those. I used those all the way through high school. To give you guys some age, like I used those through high school, and then the first year of college, I still had floppy disks, but I like bought my first thumb drive for like 30 or 40 bucks, and now they're like,
Oh yeah, they're really expensive.
That was in college. I was in college when that was going down. Y'all feel old yet? Because I do.
It's crazy.
I honestly don't remember what year it was that I stopped using them. I liked them. They were fun. They were colorful.
Yeah, I had a box of a bunch of them that I'm like, damn, I really want to plug these in and see what I stored on here.
Yeah, and I always felt like I was feeding the computer a snack whenever I put it in.
Totally.
I don't know why.
The sound that it made when you stuck it in, it was like.
Mm-hmm. Like, do you like that computer? No, tastes good.
Sorry, you doesn't taste good. Wow. Sorry, I'm actually I'm gonna be real with you guys. I legit am having reactions to Alistar being hurt.
I'm not surprised.
I'm not actually.
D&D is emotional. D&D
totally
is
reasonable.
emotional.
Yeah, I'm role playing that is really easy because that's actually how I feel. Because I think of Alistar as my little dog Lucy. Do you see her? Just
I
Yeah.
love Lucy.
Just-
Oh, I miss her.
She's just sprawled out on the guest bed. I feel really bad. I have a friend visiting, and I kicked my friend out of her guest room so I could play tonight. I'm like, I got a podcast tonight. I'm sorry.
Go to your house.
And she's like, that's fine. I'll just hang out with your boyfriend. I'm like, that's fine. You guys catch up. Get to know each other, chat. Meanwhile, Lucy's coming.
There you go.
I finished a tattoo on my friend today that I'm really excited about. It was like a very meaningful tattoo for her, and
Oh, nice.
I'm very excited. It's the subject matter is Hook. You know the movie Hook?
Oh, I love that movie. It's so good.
So I'm gonna be posting that on Instagram and Twitter soon, but I have to crop it.
Oh, I can't wait.
I'm really fucking
I had
proud
a
of it.
cool. I had a cool idea.
Yeah.
I don't know if we should really talk about.
Why not?
Maybe it's a little behind the scenes action.
Yeah.
Here you go, guys. You always ask us how we talk about stuff for the podcast. Here's one thing I want to bring up. So I usually do things with the Instagram, but I mean everyone posts stuff all the time. But for the most part, I enjoy doing it, so I like to do it a lot. But I had an idea that it'd be cool if we all chose to be in charge of it for a day or I don't know, a couple days or whatever, and you post whatever the hell you want, and that way, like, yeah, sure, honestly, that's fine. Like, I've been doing just a lot of, I don't know, game and nerd related stuff,
Yeah.
or art, but I think it'd be a cool way to have a little personal window in each of your
Yeah.
lives or whatever.
I like that idea.
Totally.
Every once in a while, like not even regularly, but I think it would be cool for everyone to get to know each other like that.
Yeah, like not Venture Maiden specific, but our
Indeed.
personal life specific. Cause
Exactly.
I'll post stuff, and if anybody follows our Instagram, I hope you know when I post stuff, because I don't really add a tag or hashtag or anything. I'm just like, it's done. Like, here's a picture for you.
I did it.
Enjoy.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Like,
Yeah,
that's
basically.
freaking out.
I do the marketing side
Yeah.
of the
You're way
Instagram.
better at I don't ever hashtag. I usually, if I hashtag something, it's because I'm being shitty. I'm like trying to be like hashtag
yeah.
fuck. Like,
No.
Oh God. Did your cat destroy your camera?
She just knocked it over. Little bitch, I love you. She's like flipping the fuck out right now. She's
Jesus.
I love
Oh my God.
it.
She's so cute. Oh, I
Aw,
love her fuzzy
baby.
tail.
what is she? Why is she doing that?
It's that time of night, I guess.
Oh yeah. After Lucy's final evening poop walk, she gets a burst of energy and chases her tail like crazy.
Aw.
She's like, ah! That is the noise she makes. I uploaded a blooper. Would you by chance put that in the bonus content, Celeste, when I'm trying to do
Absolutely.
my outro and Lucy's like, ah! Like, literally, that's what it sounds like. She fucking grunts like
I think
a
we
human.
We could all do a blooper of our pet sounds because I have some pretty ridiculous cuts too.
Oh man, so good.
All right. So let's get back into it. So for those in the chat who weren't expecting, we're going to go till 9:30
Yeah.
tonight.
I'm good.
I think we got a little bit of a slow start. Oh, I just noticed my computer isn't plugged in. Hang on.
Oh,
What was?
It was about to die. Oh,
Kitty.
Oh God, that's happened to me too many times on the show. It's such a stressful, like 10 minutes. It feels like forever.
Cat, why are you freaking out? You're so crazy. You are.
I'm really excited. We are so distracted today, aren't we? Can I call? I'm distracted. I'm distracted.
bit.
I'm fucking distracted as shit. I'm tired and I'm having a great time. And I don't want, like, I'm just like, let's just catch up and chat. That's, oh yeah, we're playing D&D.
oh yeah, this podcast thing with a ton of people.
We have a lot of bonus content in this
Yes.
episode, so there's always a
Yeah.
plus.
Many deleted scenes.
All our deleted scenes for Patreon.
I want to
They're
save
great.
my baby. I want to save my little fucking baby. Tell me what happens.
All right. So you all are now in this apparatus, and you can feel yourself sinking below ground. Or below the water. There aren't windows or anything in here, but yeah, that growing pressure in your ears that begins to build up, and as you're all crammed, and the inside of this thing is becoming hot as 4 humanoids breathing in this space. And Withban at this point is just furiously tapping dials, knobs, making these symbols. You can actually see him beginning to carve out these things in these blue symbols that hover in the air for a moment. So you all have a couple rounds where it's clear he's doing something. Brittany, was there anything you wanted to do about Alistair?
Yeah. Oh,
all
yeah.
right.
I have a healing potion that I pull out of my fucking bag of holding, and I can't think straight. I'm exceptionally distraught, so I can't even think if I can muster up like a healing spell or ask somebody for help, and I just like try to give him the healing potion.
Sure. Go ahead and make a medicine check for me. It's particularly hard feeding a tiny pseudo-dragon a health potion. Is that a natural 20?
That
Or
looks like a
1?
bad roll.
Oh, no.
Use your power. You did it.
Yeah, can I use Gift of the Future, please?
That
Have
would
you
make
used it
someone
yet?
else
I
reroll.
haven't. I have not used Gift of the Future. I used Entropic Ward to make that dude.
That would make someone else reroll. You don't have that
the
power.
bottle reroll. I'm like, I guess
The bottle, do better.
I guess like I'm just, my hands are trembling so hard and I can't, like, I'm crying so I can't see. So I guess like I maybe drop, I don't know, you tell me what I do with that natural 1.
Okay. The natural 1, you actually managed to feed some of that potion to him. And as he goes, you've seen him do this before with his chameleon colors a little bit. He flashes from this kind of gray to the blue to the orange and just moves in a bunch of colors. And for a moment, you think it's going to work as his little chest rises and falls, and he lets out this little puff of glitter. But then his head just sort of sinks back, and you see that gray come over him once again. And you just get the sense that somehow the magic just didn't agree with him.
I'm panicked and I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I'm looking at you
I have a
guys.
healer's kit. Can I do anything?
Do you want to try and make a medicine roll on the pseudo-dragon?
Sure.
So the healer's kit, I believe, would give you advantage, or you get to add your proficiency, right?
That's only if I'm proficient in that, but I'm not.
Okay.
I just have
I'm
one.
just proficient in an alchemist set.
Mhm.
Wait, wouldn't that give me? Couldn't I? Well, it's a 1. It doesn't matter. It
Oh.
doesn't matter.
You're so sad.
I'm
I don't
legit
think I
stressed
am.
out about this. This is like real life for sure.
All right. While you all are fussing around about all this, pulling things out of your bag, trying to get health potions, everything, Whizban just has been totally absorbed, and he begins to yell to you, "All right, everybody, buckle up. We're about to go into hyperdrive." And he punches this glyph on his main dashboard, and you all begin to feel this apparatus just rock in place. And you all feel that familiar sense of when you got teleported by the wand. It sweeps over you, except in this weird kind of spiral pattern as it's contained within this thing. And immediately, as it passes, your ears all begin to pop suddenly, and actually your noses start bleeding. It's just the incredible change in pressure. And he sort of lunges back from the dashboard as the whole thing rocks, and all the panels, lights, all the arcane sigils go dark. All right, I think we made it. And he scrambles up the ladder and rolls this little hand thing, and it pops open, and immediately arid, hot air begins to pour into the cavern, and just sunlight begins to stream in. And he pokes his head out first, and then sort of sits down and does a couple more things on the panel. But the hatch is open if anyone wants to take a look.
Kara will go
I'm
up
gonna
and
run
take a
out. No, Saya scrambles up in front
Yeah,
of you,
as soon as she, like,
crawling
starts
over your
to get up.
shoulders.
So I was like, no, slap.
Me first.
All right, so you emerge into sort of a familiar scene. You see the salt flats. You recognize the mountain ranges around you and the heat and the dryness, except as you look out on this, everywhere around you, you don't see the base of these plains anymore. You see basically an ocean around you, as the salt flats have been just completely covered in water. As far as the eye can see, water. And then to the north of you, you recognize the familiar peak of the Sisters of Sorrow, where the Elysium Keep was. But you are still about 30 feet away from it.
Fuck. No.
Mm-hmm. And
wait,
that's
what?
terrible.
So the whole salt flats that you were in before have suddenly been filled by an ocean. Go ahead and make a perception check for me.
Y'all just fucking...
Wait, hold on. You froze, and then I couldn't hear you. Can you repeat what you said?
So the salt flats you were in before look like now they have been totally filled by an ocean. It's like the basin has just completely filled up with water everywhere as far as the eye can see.
I try not to...
How about that global warming, huh?
I try not to think about the underground civilization and the children that we bonded with. I cannot think about that right now, and I rolled a 12 on my perception check. Oh, fuck.
Okay.
I rolled 11.
Okay. Sorry, or Kara, do you want to read? Maybe you all are like poking your little eyes out, sharing the space.
Yeah, I didn't hear you to ask for one. Perception. 19.
Okay. So as you're looking out around, you remember this space being vast and flat and surrounded by mountain ranges, and you keep looking out and out for the indications of something, anything out there, but it's all just drowned by water. And as you turn your gaze back to the north, to the peak where the Elysium Keep was, you actually see higher up above the mountain these two sort of shimmering domes of a kind that look like they've just been stuck onwards, but it looks like a mirage. You're having a hard time seeing what exactly it is. And Whizban at this point you all feel this lurch as the apparatus begins to propel itself forward. You actually see these spinning blades come out of the back of it, and he's jetting you towards the mountain.
Well, this seems like a problem.
Yeah, just a bit. Whizban goes, yes, that's why I came and fetch you. We're in a little bit of a situation. We're hoping, well, Rem wants some answers, to be quite honest.
What the hell happened here? How did it get underwater?
We were hoping you might be able to tell us. I mean, one thing, you're on a mission to discover what had happened, and then the city just started exploding in these geysers everywhere, just flooding the city completely. I mean, all the folks of Bastards Breach,
I interrupt.
They're gone.
I screech. I'm like, I need you to help me. I can't. Please, can you help me? And I hold up the pseudo dragon. I'm like, I can't answer anything until you help me with this little baby. I need something. Can you please?
Okay. His eyebrows just go flurry above you, and you see them move in this wave-like fashion, and his hair shakes. Yeah, as his big eyes are like, he's not used to people being so close to him or demanding so much. So go ahead and make a persuasion versus his charisma to see if he's terrified.
You said persuasion?
Uh-huh.
I rolled a 19.
Okay. So, you're in his face, and he just seems like he's not going to help you for a moment, and then he sort of, like, calms down, lets out these even breaths. Okay, perhaps I have something. Look, get in the med kit back there. The syringe on the left with the red.
I run, and I grab it.
It's definitely one of those boat-style med kits, like, strapped to the wall. You open it up, and there are a bunch of different colored syringes in there. You see a red one. You grab it. What are you going to do?
I look at him.
At
him just like that. I'm like, this is the one? This is it?
Yeah.
Anywhere?
Uh-huh.
Okay, and so I put it in his little, like, the little thigh, kind of like a little pseudo-dragon butt, so it's, like, not terrible, so I do that.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And as you go and you hammer the syringe in
Gently.
and drain into him. It's like an adrenaline shot. You can't really do that gently.
Right.
As you go, the gray begins to fizzle out of him and phase into that orange striped color you saw before, and he takes an uneven breath and puppy.
Hold on.
And he
Puppy
barks
is
back
so
to life.
excited. He barks back to life. It's amazing.
That's
Yeah,
what I imagine he looks
I
like.
have to sneeze.
Do it now.
What happened? What did I miss?
He
He's
barked
sneezing.
back to life.
He did? No, he barked. I didn't even know.
He sneezed into
I
life.
didn't even know that Snacks was in here. I had no fucking clue. His little ass like snuck in when I went to go to the bathroom. I usually leave him out because he barks at everything. Sorry about that. He snuck in and he blends in with the ground.
So yes, Alistar barks back to life.
I'm sobbing and I look at Whizgit.
Whizban. Whizban glitch.
Sorry. I look back at
He's
Whizban
having such a hard time with his
and
name.
I'm just like, thank you. And I like clutch Alistar just a little too tightly to my chest, and I'm like rocking him back and forth, and there's snot pouring out of my nose, and I'm just like crying, and I'm a hot mess, like hot.
One of
mess.
those ugly cries.
Ugly cry, fucking messy, ugly cry.
Yeah, Whizban is like definitely one of those science majors who like is super smart but just doesn't know how to handle
That's okay, I'm not asking.
emotion in this. Yeah, so he just sort of turns back to the board and asks both you, Kara, and Saya, like, can I?
That's the sound of the generator kicking up again.
Sorry.
Can I keep driving, or is she gonna? I don't. And he gives you a look.
I'm still screaming, thank you.
I think
Yes.
it's okay.
We're good now.
Kara goes over to Arnadell and Fitzpatrick and gives both of you a big, warm hug.
It helps.
Aww.
I start to compose myself. I was like absolutely in shock by this, and you know, like when it sets in, and like, yeah. So that helps. Thank you.
All right. So the apparatus continues speeding towards the mountain. And as you get there to the point, the water has risen so much that it's a hard fit. Like as you're going in, you remember at the base of the mountain, the cliffside had opened up. So it opens up and you hear this bubbling, gurgling sound as now half of that is filled. So the apparatus actually shakes and moves and you all feel that ram as it goes against and it can't quite fit. He's like, oh, hold on. And you all feel that pressure again as everything starts to get a little bit smaller. The cabin is compressing and you feel the arms folding into it and you drift inwards towards the stairs. So you come out a while traveling horizontally. So you come probably about a quarter up of the way you were on the stairs before is now where the water is hitting it. All right, we made it. Everybody out?
I'm still. I step out like with my little. Yeah.
So you splash in the water and you make it to the steps that you remember before. This was where the griffins were flanking on either side of the cavern. All right, I gotta go valet park this thing. So
I really love that character a lot now.
Yeah, I'll see you later. Rem wanted to talk to you pretty quickly, so if I were you, I would and she didn't look quite happy. So just play it cool. And as you get out, you just immediately and you hear that ceiling sound and the
Oh,
So it's like, okay, bye.
He didn't even say what mood she was in.
Can we check in? How the fuck do we look? What do we look like? How is this?
God,
How is the
goddamn
state of our
mess.
clothing, our hair,
hot mess.
our gear, and our expressions?
Well, man, Kara looks
Saya-
like shit.
Saya's expression is beat the fuck down. And very much like, a little kid who knows they've done something wrong and have just been caught, or they're like about to be caught. So they're kind of
We
like,
didn't do anything
she's
wrong.
constantly fidgeting. No. Well, Saya thinks she did. She's fidgeting. She's uncomfortable. She doesn't know how to behave. She's extremely awkward.
Arnadell is pissed. at the idea that we're about to get in trouble. Mostly because she's, like, still protective and frustrated beyond frustrated that her, like, little baby got so sick as an exchange of, like, what we just went through. So she's, like, defensive as fuck if we get in trouble.
You're like a single mom.
Oh man, if we get in trouble for what we just went through, we fucking accomplished the mission and we got fucked because they didn't have their magic. They didn't have enough fucking talented wizard to make a goddamn wand of teleportation work the way it should work. And so if they're gonna get mad at us because of that, that's our Arnadel. That's where Arnadel's at.
Kara's like, well, our mission was to get Montgomery, and we kind of still don't have him. He's like, I don't know where.
That's actually very logical.
Where the fuck did he go?
That's super logical. But yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah, are we?
Now the town's in the water.
We should tell him, right? That's the right thing to do. I don't know. I don't know if I could tell them. I'm really scared, you guys.
One of us...
I'm imagining you're saying this as you're all walking up the steps to the keep.
Yeah.
And the griffins are all looking at you on both sides, and it suddenly seems really judgmental.
I don't.
Oh, God.
Arnold's beyond.
Oh God, she can't handle
Arnold's
it.
so fucking livid right now that our lives were so like. Arnold's pissed.
I am so excited to play this NPC scene with you, Brittany. You're gonna yell at me so hard. All right.
I'm so excited to see what's her fucking face.
Your crush, your lady lover.
Isolde?
Oh, Isolde.
No, Isolde.
Oh, fuck.
That fucking bitch. She's gonna be full of words.
All right.
Arnold's lit right now, so.
Let's go.
All right, we're lit. Let's go.
Real quick.
This is like Car right
I
now.
just want to know for role-playing purposes, the ride back, does that count as a short rest?
No, it was very distressful. And you weren't in that thing for, maybe 5 minutes tops.
So no
he clearly had some kind of teleportation thing going on.
Oh, well, why did... Okay.
You booped halfway around the world if the Furbolg's map was correct. You jumped from the far southeast of a huge continent all the way to the north.
I'm so ready for role-playing right now.
All right, let's go. All right, so you make your way up to the main gates. At this point, they are already flung open, and you can hear human voices immediately ringing the courtyard, echoing around. It sounds like a lot of cries like, gotcha! Oh my God, like, stop it, Jimmy, no! And then you hear this voice going around like, children, please, no, let's be reasonable. And as you walk in, the courtyard in the center is just the scene of complete chaos. As you see, so before when you walked in, there was like a fighting ring set up in the stables and the smithy, and it was pretty empty last time. Now children are just running about in just groups, clumps, and you see Valerius and Dee immediately are running around in the center of them. And Dee is like tackled right now by like 10 kids. She's just rolling around on the ground with a bunch of them. And Valerius looks like he's holding his staff out, and the kids have kind of backed him into one corner, and there are like 15 of them, and one of them's like, hey, do a magic trick. And he's like, no, children, This isn't effect. Hey, yeah, big man, do a magic trick. What are you, lizard? And he's just like backed in the corner.
He's being bullied. That's not cool. Little fuckers.
Looking
I'll be like,
at this
bitches,
all,
I'll show you
there
a
are
magic trick.
there are
agonizing blast.
Oh my God. So
I was
there are
do
like
arms of Hadar.
shit. Wow. Okay, so there are like 30 children in this courtyard right now of just a vast amount of races. Everything from tiny dragonborn to humans to dwarves to if you had to guess, it looks like sort of a tiny version of the population of Bastards Reach. If you were to guess on percentages.
These children, like a particular elemental child or orcish child. We're too distraught to do a perception check on this. I'll look later.
Yeah, it's a mess. Actually, Brittany, why don't you roll a d20 for me to see if Grutnar made it?
Oh man, I can't. I'm too pissed off at everyone. I rolled a 3. Plus 6 for perception, so what is that, 9?
9.
I have to ask. I'm like, I don't know, fucking 9.
I was just having you roll a percentage.
Oh, percentage.
So a 3.
Oh.
So, well, on a d20, I had a certain, so 3. You don't recognize the little Gretnark in the pack, but it is just sheer chaos as you're going. And you see a couple other adults that you recognized from before, just kind of wandering around the keep. Some of the folks in the bar, some of the folks. You actually see Vlad is sort of moving around the children. He's just like ghosting through them. They don't even seem to see him.
I love Vlad.
As he looks, and he like reaches down and pats one on the head, and the kid seems to like. He like looks up with his big eyes and just goes like really calm and starts nicely playing with the other children.
Oh my god, that's amazing.
I can visualize that. I can visualize that so well.
He just like scared the fuck, scared that kid into being respectful.
Yeah, he just glided over his head and
touched him.
Very robotic.
A moment of his logic.
Yes, I love it.
His cynicism.
I like look at Saya like, that's your homie, man. You got a good homie.
Mm-hmm.
Right, so that's what you see when you walk up. And you remember before, cat so freaking out. So immediately on your right would be the door that would lead to the chamber. You go upstairs and you would get to the council chamber. Or if you went to the northeast, actually, do you want to pull up the Elysium Keep map? Is it on there?
I literally just did it. It's really small though. I'm sorry.
It's okay. So what do you all want to do?
Well, we better get this over with, right?
Yeah, I'm going straight to fucking Ren. I'm like really upset at the idea that we're about to be in trouble. I'm like,
yes, Saya?
I just remembered that I have some kind of flask of something that Vince, Val, Vlad.
What?
Definitely.
I didn't even know what you were talking about with
Vlad.
Vince.
it was to help you to
A
sleep.
little vial. Yeah. Well, so I said something to help me like calm down so I could sleep. Well, maybe it will just put me to sleep. But I remember I have that, and I want to take a little sip of it, sneaking in.
Okay.
Try and relax.
Go ahead and make a Constitution
Pop a
save.
magic Xanax.
Oh. Constitution. Where's that? 19.
Okay. So it affects you in the good way. So you get a +2 to all charisma-based checks. Immediately, you feel like this fire, like, as you slug it back, and your body is just filled with this warmth and, confidence. Again, like, you know what? I ain't afraid of no ghost.
You know what?
Yeah. You know what? Cool. And you rolled well enough, you don't take any of the penalties.
Oh, I want to know what they are.
So you feel better. Liquid courage. And then
Great.
what?
She's calm. She's ready to go. So, Rem wanted to talk to us. Let's go.
Let's go. Yeah, let's go, guys.
Kara's taken a little bit aback as she knows a very sudden demeanor change. And Saya is like, yeah.
Cool. All right, so you all make your way up to the council chamber.
Yeah.
Sure.
As you approach and climb the stairs to the second landing where the door to the council chambers are, you hear 3 voices, very loud, arguing with each other. Make perception checks if you want to understand what they're saying.
17.
14.
Okay. Kara?
Ooh, perception check?
Yeah.
Whoop! Oh, natural 1.
No idea. You're so scared.
Just like, oh god.
But Saya and Arnadel, you can pick up the general gist of the conversation that's going on. You clearly hear Rem's voice saying, well, I don't care. I don't care. They're fucking children. Like, we're not going to throw them. I don't care. And then you hear Kristoff's voice down below, like, it's not a tactical decision, Rem, to keep all of these people here. You can't save everyone. They were our enemies. And you hear this cold voice sort of in the back go, well, I suppose all we have to do is decide where we go from here. Rem has clearly made this mistake. And then Kristoff starts yelling something about, like, tactics and how we can't, like, do this, and you're all walking up to the door at this point. You can choose to enter or to remain.
I go the fuck in there.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
She kicks
imagine,
open the
like,
I kick
doors.
the fucking
I
door
imagine-
open.
I imagine as like Kara's about to like knock very politely, and Nardadel just goes, "Whoop!"
I want to. As soon as I kick the door open, I look coldly at Kristoff and Isolde, and I'm like, "Fuck you guys! They're not our enemy. They didn't choose what happened to them. They are just a product of their environment, and the things that happened to them are not their choice. They were just in the background. You cannot claim them to be the enemies."
As you say this, you come in screaming in this flurry, and none of the three of them are expecting it. They all just sort of like turn immediately to you, and Kristoff like drops this like dagger and like pen set he had out on this big map unfurled in front of the table, and Isolde is just standing in the corner and gives you like super side eye. And then Rem, you actually see, is bouncing a baby that is wrapped in swaddling cloth like on her hip right now, and she just looks at you and is like, and then you hear as this kid begins like screaming as it's been woken up, and she's just like, oh my fucking god, and she's just like, this kid is screaming, and she clearly has no idea what to do with a child. It's like she's holding it in this
Weird.
Kara offers to take the baby from her.
Yeah, she immediately is just like, take it, and like holds it wrong by the shoulders and is like, just
I just
okay.
I look calmly again, and more calmly I say, Kristoff, you cannot say it's a tactical mistake to save people's lives. And that's the end of my burst.
I'm sorry, I had not realized you had returned yet. Please, if you could step into the room, and maybe you all can give some clarification as to what the fuck happened down there.
I look
1 minute you were there, the next you were gone, we couldn't find you, and we have, I don't know if you fucking looked outside, there's an ocean.
I'm sorry, you couldn't find us? Giving us a fucking wand that you knew before we were to use it that would cast, it had wild fucking magic teleportation. What do you think would happen if we got into trouble? Obviously we got
Brittany,
into trouble. Obviously,
Brittany, can you make a wisdom save for me, please?
Obviously.
Am I about to be charmed?
No.
It'd be really cool if Kara is just really good with kids.
15.
Oh, that's totally, yeah,
I
she was a
believe she is.
I
babysitter.
rolled a 15
Oh, yeah.
on my wisdom save.
Yeah, should I?
Okay. You have had the spell Calm Emotions casted on you.
So tell me what
You
that
feel
means.
Oh.
you feel suddenly this like, you were so angry and you were so upset about Alistar and everything that's happened, and you're so scared you were teleported anywhere, and all of a sudden it just doesn't seem to matter anymore. It's like you just took a Prozac. Everything's just like
Okay.
cool. And you feel great about it.
All right. I just sit
And,
down and I hold my baby, and I'm just like,
Yeah. And you notice Isolde smirking over in the
fucking hate
corner.
that bitch.
That sucks.
Kara gives her side eye.
And Kara, yeah, as you take the baby, it totally like calms down and reaches out.
Should I
one of
make
its
should I
little
make
hands.
an animal handling check?
Yeah, sure. That's totally appropriate. Animal handling or, yeah, whatever. Animal handling. That's great. You're good at that.
Yeah, 17.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, guys. I keep sneezing. 17. You handle that animal, that small child animal. It just sort of like coos up at you, and he's like, oh, and rests its little baby hands in your hair.
She like takes her like
Exactly.
her like ringlets and is like
Good luck with
playing
that.
with the baby.
That's like baby death
She's
threat.
like totally immersed in this like tiny human right now.
Rem looks
Humanoid.
so relieved, and just kind of sags down in the chair like she's so tired. Actually, all of them, you notice now, complete dark circles around their eyes. They look stressed out, like they haven't changed in days. All right. Kristoff turns to all of you. I understand that you probably experienced some poor conditions, and perhaps it was not right of me, and he like grits his bottom teeth, which looks really scary as an orc does it, and his fangs come out. If you could just explain to us what exactly happened. And then Isolde chimes in. Yes, we lost the ability once you went further down, I think specifically into a room of some kind. The last thing we saw were these enchanted doors, and then we couldn't get a read on you.
I giggle
I couldn't see
super
you.
hard. I'm like, we or you? And I go back to petting Alistair Fitzpatrick.
It's like Arnold's totally stoned right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Isolde purses her lips and continues onward. So, Kristoff, again, what happened? I would like you all to make perception checks for me. Or insight would actually be better to read the room.
That is not my strong suit. It's like a 9.
I rolled.
You're absorbing little baby.
I rolled
Yep.
a 6.
15.
Yeah. Prozac, babysitter, and 15 over here. So, Saye, it's actually really appropriate you notice it. After Kristoff has been talking to you, Rem starts giving you this look. This just, it's almost like a soul appraising look as she's seeing something about you beyond yourself, or just, it's that really uncomfortable stare of like someone who's trying to read your mind or like knows too much about you. And she is just, completely dipped out of the conversation and giving you this look. And you see Isolde on the other side keeps checking back in with Rem. So they have some kind of conversation going there. And Kristoff is just pure in his attentions, like just trying to figure out what the hell happened. And then again, also details for the room. Spread out on the table is this giant map. So you haven't seen it yet, but it's a map of the continent. And then it has this section, so marked the Elysium Keep. There's this little marker that looks like a carved sort of treehouse figure. And then all around it, you can see parchment has been scratched out and filled in with this blue ink. And you see that completely Bastard's Breach has been flooded. All of the salt flats have been flooded. Just this huge piece of land, probably equivalent to, what would be like the size of it? Like the UK. Like, pretty big block of land filled in now with this blue.
Oh, shit.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's intense. So Kara, she speaks up and she's like, well, okay, so, and she begins to relay our tales of the underground and meeting Monty and the fight with Bartleby, finding that amulet, and then continuing on, going up, releasing the evil water elemental, landing on the island, using the teleportation wand.
Yeah,
just everything.
Everything that Kara knows.
Yes.
And then once you come to the end of it, the three of them have taken this pretty calmly in stride. And then Rem's voice peeks up from the edge of the table. And I think you, Saye, have another piece of this tale to tell. What the hell did you do? I can see it has changed you.
I did what I thought was right. I freed a elemental spirit that they were keeping captive.
You didn't just free it, though. You're what you are. I can see it. I can see it. It's a part of you. It wasn't just freeing it. You did something. You need to tell us what you did.
I don't know what I did. She's very calm in explaining, like, this is what she knows to be true. We spoke. She needed someone to help her.
How did you help her?
I took her in. That's how she put it.
And Rem,
that's the last thing I remember.
Yeah, Rem visibly moves back into her chair when you say you took it in, and sort of has this expression as she looks down and just doesn't quite know what to say to you, is the impression here at this point. And the room is quiet for a moment.
Saya is missing the social cues. Like, what's going on?
Yeah, clearly, I mean, you all get the sense without insight that there is something going on that they're not telling you, or some bit of information they have that you don't. All right. Well, I suppose I should inform you of the situation. As Christoph said, Bastard's Breach is gone. These geysers suddenly erupted probably on the instant you freed this creature, and an ocean that has been gone for thousands of years has now returned to the wastes. We all managed to escape, and I tried to preserve as many people as I could. And Christoph at this gives her like a hard glance, and she turns back and is like, just doesn't have any part of it. She's like, I wasn't going to let fucking children die. And then Christoph turns over and is like, the bottom line is, they were our enemies. And now we are in an open position. We have taken in these refugees, and our position is compromised. People know where the keep is now.
It's kind of underwater.
I still speak up in like my delightfully calm tone. I'm like, Christoph, it's still really fucked up that you think... I sing-song it. I think it's really fucked up that you think it's a tactical mistake to save children's lives. I think that's stupid. It's so stupid. Christoph, you
It's so silly.
You silly goose.
It's so silly.
So you're a stupid bitch for casting this on me. God.
Isolde kind of laughs at you.
I'm
she
sure
thinks
you
this
love
is hilarious.
This, you masochist.
Isolde, at the same time, though, she chimes in, oh, but I agree with you on that point. Saving children, not a bad thing, but Rem, do you want to tell them what else you did? And Rem sort of darkens. You see this flush go into her face and doesn't speak. And then Isolde chimes in, not only did she save a bunch of children, she saved many of those who even resided the closest to her. I'm sorry, would you like to tell them who you actually saved in that mix?
Is Sylvar here?
And Rem, again, like that, just now her flushing embarrassment turns to pure fury. I did what I could. And I brought them here. Sorry. And Christoph goes over and he, like, taps out the window for both of you to go, like, indicating for you to come see. And now you see that as you're up in this mountain, these two shimmering domes that you saw on both sides of you, now that you're level on the plain, it looks like these huge chunks of land that have just been lifted up into the air and have these shimmering bubbles along them. And you actually see ruins of like a mansion, as if it's just been pulled up, like Sylvar's mansion, just elevated into this broken. You see this point where the guys are popped up, and you see figures wandering around inside of there, and you look over towards another, and it looks like the ruins of a large church structure, and there are a bunch of people just kind of trapped in these bubbles right now. And Rem just like,
well, that's really interesting.
I giggle manically, and I look over at Isolde, and I'm like, can't you magically control this situation? And I start laughing hysterically.
God.
You sound like that dolphin that we saw.
And
Isolde's gonna fucking like calm my emotions. That doesn't take my sass away.
Okay, I'm gonna do an intimidate roll on you because she's had just about enough of you. So go ahead and make a charisma save for me.
That's a 17.
Sorry. Okay, a 17. So she just glares such daggers at you, and you actually feel for a moment, it's not like she's trying to intimidate you so much as she's trying to be like, look, dude, I'm trying to do my fucking job, and you are being stupid right now. And you get that immediately, like that exasperation. And she goes back and just sort of shakes her head. Christoph, I recognize that you are upset about this tactical decision, but at the end of the day, Rem is our leader. And now we have quite the problem on our hands. So, I think there are a couple of things we need to do here. And she's looking at all of you. I'm not sure how much the rest of you can help. I know your powers aren't, she raises an eyebrow, at their fullest point. You have to all understand, you took a great risk in using that wand. We warned you. And if it weren't for the marks on your hand and the signature attached to them, we would not have been able to find you. You all are valuable to us in some way. I don't claim to understand it, but you can't take foolish risks like that again if you are to be a part of mending this break in the pattern. Do you all understand?
Oh, yes.
Arnadel's still grinning her from ear to ear. The spell's still happening, right? Yeah, she's just like, yeah.
Less
what?
like
Claudia is
4
honestly
hours.
shocked. Honestly shocked that they would even think to keep her still. She's like, I would walk out right now.
Separate.
Oh, totally understand.
Separating the spell, Arnadel still feels that it's ridiculous that they're upset that we used the wand. Arnadel's like,
That's how Kara feels,
yeah. Arnadel's
too.
like, you gave us this. How the hell could you be upset that we used it? Like, you cannot chastise us. But she can't tell you that because she's calmed. Like, she's just like, whatever. I just want to go lie down.
Yeah, wait. Why are they upset about that and not us freeing the water thing?
Well, give me a moment. You can immediately tell that Rem is also super upset and embarrassed. Like she did. It's definitely clear to you now that there are 3 equal personalities in this room. Rem might be the leader, but there's a reason they all check each other. They're all responding to this super differently. And as the silence continues, Isolde picks back up again. Saye, if you want to continue with us, we need to test you to see how far the extent of this evil has corrupted you. If you do not submit to the test, you may leave now and never return.
Oh.
Oh, shit.
Wow. I look at you, and using Awakened Mind, I tell you, we've got your back no matter what.
Well, just him choosing to use the word evil is very frightening. And I think she kind of wants to know that too now. She didn't realize that that was a risk or a symptom or anything.
And as Isolde says that, she checks in with Christoph and Rem, and they both... Christoph absolutely nods his head, and Rem gives you a very sad look and also nods her head.
Oh, fuck. Well, thank you for giving me a chance to, I guess, prove myself. I'll submit to your tests.
All right. Then before anything else happens, I need you to come with me. Your friends cannot join you in this.
Okay.
And,
I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah, and she leads you out of the room and leads you down and down further through the keep, and you pass along the courtyard, and you get to the northern end of this place, and you open like this gate door, and you see the huge cavern around you and the glowing mushroom. So you're like on the outside of this, and you actually see a set of stairs descending downwards on the outside of this fortress, and she just leads you solemnly, quietly down and down until you get to almost the bottom of this hanging structure, and takes out a set of keys and then opens another door, and you just feel this musty, sort of dank, cold air as you enter into the dungeons of the Elysian Keep. And the last thing you hear is the slam of the door behind you. And that's where Saye's journey is over for the evening.
Fuck.
What are you two doing?
Man. Kara is standing there awkwardly, bouncing this baby on her hip. And it's like, so, what does that leave for us?
And, Rem turns up. I'm not going to lie to you. I know how close the three of you were, but I don't think you understand the extent of the taint that Soya has experienced. I don't think you understand the extent to which this has affected Soya. I could see the evil radiating off of her the minute she stepped into this room. It is not a light matter to parley with a dark god. And
yeah, I think Monty tried to warn her, but well, you know.
I'm comprehending everything correct, like enough, right? It doesn't affect my ability to comprehend.
Yeah, and as Isolde gets further and further away, the effects of the spell seem to lighten up on you. So your head is clearing.
Okay. I'm still calm because I felt like I don't know, I felt like we were able to explain ourselves, so I'm not as like frustrated or irritated. So
yeah, and reading on that, Rem again is like, I understand you probably did what you have to do. I see that within all of you. I think you are all very capable, but this choice, I don't know, we all make choices, and she ushers out the baby and ushers out the window. This might be the end of the Elysium Keep. I don't know, but it was something I had to do.
Arnadel wants to be like, Rem, I'm so angry, and I think it was really frustrating that Isolde cast that spell on me, but I just need you to know, now that I'm like of my own emotional voice, I think what you did was noble, and it's what I would have done. And I think it's absolutely ridiculous that the rest of your colleagues wouldn't consider it. A life is a life. And you know what? All of the enemies that you saved are now in debt to us.
And, oh yeah, Kara.
Oh, Kara's like, I agree with that. She said a lot of good words. Those that's what I feel too. Yeah.
And she smiles at you both. And you get that sense, like, kindred spirits here in the room.
I felt loyal towards Rem, and that pissed me off. Like, Arnadel's thinking about it, and I'm like, yeah, I fucking love Rem.
But at the end of it, like, she, her smile turns to a sad sort of frown, and she looks down at the table, and Kristoff chimes in very gently as he goes, we don't want you to be... I understand duty. I understand the need to protect. It is what I've built my life on, but also being sworn to protect a force greater than my own. I think the two of you should be aware, particularly if your companion doesn't survive Isolde, which she may not.
What'd you say?
Isolde finds that the evil within her is overwhelming or will corrupt her, Isolde will kill your friend.
No. No.
Rem reaches a hand across the table and puts her hand on yours.
I pull it back.
Like one of those...
I'm not accepting this at all. Arnadel's like, what the fuck did you just say to me?
Kristoff, lovely again. You heard me.
I did, no. Where the fuck? Arnadel, you might have to, I'm just gonna, for outside of role-playing, Kristoff might have to restrain Arnadel. She's getting very physically...
He's ready.
Do you need me to roll anything?
Kara crosses. Yeah.
I'm like making my way to the door to find... I'm going...
Fight over me!
Yeah, I'm going to find the dungeon.
Sage, jump in here. You just gotta...
I'm letting you know, I violently get the fuck up to go to the dungeon.
Kara crosses her arms, and she looks down in deep, contemplation for a moment, and she looks back up at Kristoff and says, yeah, you're right. What's done has to be done, and if she can no longer work under her own mind, then she must be taken care of.
Arnadel?
We cannot have a threat like that.
Hang on, Britt. Kristoff nods at you in that, like, warrior understanding. And Arnadel, you burst out through the doors,
Yeah,
running after.
you cannot reason with me at this point. Arnadel says fuck you to everyone.
Picture it. She almost lost her dragon, and now one of her friends is being dragged off to possibly never be seen again.
No, in Arnadel's mind, she's being completely rational. Like, this is her friend, and it doesn't matter what... Arnadel's been touched by magic of powerfulness, powers that she can't comprehend. So, and she has a vague awareness of this. So for them to be treating Saya like a villain, even though I'm housing this own power inside of me, Arnadel's like, fuck you, fuck everything you stand for. I'll go down with... She's not going to go down without a fight. She's like... amped the fuck up for it.
And so you begin to run. Nobody stops you.
Kara stops you.
I will fucking fight you.
All right.
She's gonna put you in a bear hug.
I'm sorry, I will fucking fight you.
Get disadvantage because you're holding a baby. And
that's right.
I'm sprinting.
You're holding a tiny baby.
I look at Kristoff and I go, hold this.
Wait, I've already sprinted out the door. You gotta catch up with me.
Well, yeah, so, okay, I'm gonna calm this mess. I'm gonna calm this mess real quick.
Okay.
Arnadel starts sprinting off. You're, like, handing Kristoff the baby, thinking to go after your friend, not sure what to do, Kara, and Kristoff grabs your shoulder and says, you should let her go. Let her resolve whatever demon she needs to resolve.
I literally have adrenaline.
I have complete trust that Isolde is not going to let her get to her friend.
That is a good point. I did not think about that.
And Rem also, like, comes over and takes the baby from Kristoff's, like, awkward one ham fist on the baby, and she's just like, if there were ever more inept people to handle a baby, it's everybody who's been in this room today.
Kara takes the baby back.
A half-orc rogue.
Kara is the only one who can even do
this. The barbarian is like the best baby keeper.
So, Arnadel, you begin to run, and you know exactly where Isolde's gone. It's like you can even smell her magical trace as you go, and you just flurry your way down stone corridors, making your way to this back gate, running down these stone steps on the very edge of the abyss as you're floating in this cavern, and you make your way to this door. And as you reach out to the handle of this door, you pull at it, it's locked. You pull at it just with the fury of everything you have, and you begin to hear this inhuman scream coming from the other side of the door, and you recognize Saye's voice.
Every fucking spell I can, I pour every ounce of magical energy into busting the lock. I literally, you know, like when, like in the Avatar: The Last Airbender, when Princess Azula starts spouting shit out of her mouth.
Skip this story. We've got 2 minutes. Skip the story and make a percentage roll for me.
With a d20?
Yep. Or no, with two tens. Percentage roll. See if this even works.
42%.
Okay. So you try and try with all your might, and you just immediately, I'm going to say you just burn it all. You burn all your arcane power, and the door just flies open around you. And as you step into the room, you see these 2 shadowy figures in front of you. Saye down on her knees, clutching her head, and the form of Isolde standing over her, holding out one hand to touch the edge of her forehead. And this swirling sort of miasma around it, you see black and blue. It looks like ocean water just swirling around. And Saye is just screaming. It's such an inhuman scream, like something is being torn from her, or she's being torn apart from the inside out. And you push forward, but this miasma just blows you backwards with the sheer power of what's happening. And that's where we're ending, because we're at 9:30.
Oh my God. This was too emotional, this episode. I'm not going to be able to sleep tonight until like 2 a.m. because I'm so fucking emotional about this. My fucking pseudo-dragon almost died, and now my friend is being tortured. Again, tortured by the very entity in the Elysium Keep that I hate the most.
So, I have something cool that I've decided to do as a DM. I want to do a one-on-one with Nassim next game. We're going to explore a little bit more of what has been happening with Saya in this room. So we're going to have a super special episode next time we tune in. Part of Saya's arc here. So, don't worry. Next week, you'll be able to catch us. Or, wait, not next week. We're recording something extra special with actually Dames and Dragons on Don't Split the Podcast Network. That's going to be super cool and published there. But then eventually we'll be back to you. And I think we all need to get our episodes back on track so we can actually give you good intros. Because, man, that was rough today. But thank you, everyone, so much for sticking through that. I know this was a big ol' episode. I know my heart is palpitating, too.
It was exciting.
Yeah. Everyone in the chat is dying.
Oh, my God.
What are they doing? What are they saying? I wish I could see it.
Many ahs and no's and yeah.
I know, guys. I know.
This episode was intense.
Oh,
I thought it was gonna be like a happy. Skip back to like the fucking Elysian Fortress so we could get a drink and like. Nope.
This is why we can't have nice things.
Oh yeah, of anything I predicted, an ocean where we just were standing was not anything.
Not near it.
Holy fuck.
Consequences. Yeah. Big world consequences. Shit. All right. Well, thank you, everyone, so much for tuning in to another episode of the Venture Maidens podcast. I have been your dungeon master, Celeste Konowich.
I've been your fucking emotionally stressed the fuck out elven warlock, Arna Delathil. And actually emotionally stressed out Brittany Quintero.
Oh, I
forgot.
Yeah, I forgot. I might still be your human monk, Cyanor Nassim Etamad.
I've been your surprisingly calm barbarian, Kara.
And baby savvy.
Yeah, this is the chillest you've ever been.
Baby savvy.
Kara's daycare. That's what she'd do if she weren't adventuring. Raise young barbarians to fight for her honor.
Exactly.
All right. Well, you know what? Thank you all for tuning in. And until next time... Venture away!
Venture away!
Oh my god! I'm gonna turn off my thing. Oh.